Hey. Hey Zaza. Hey Dan. I am well, thank you, Zaza. How are you? Thanks for asking. Good. How's everyone's day been today? Beautiful Dree? What's Dree? Oh, thank you. Good evening, Kat. Welcome. Oh, it's so good to see you all back again. Oh, thank you. Another charity shop find. It's actually like a massive poncho. Like, I just love to wear these things. It's like wearing a blanket. Yeah, the weather's been really nice. Evening time and tide, welcome. I've been looking forward to today's live. Yeah, little community vibes. No, it's not. It's literally just like, look, a poncho. It's reversible as well. I'm well, thank you, my darling. How are you? I'm going to be doing a little guided meditation again at the end of this live. Yesterday's one I feel like went really well. I could literally feel the energy. I don't know if you guys were in it in the live still at that point because it was like a long live, but the energy in the chat was quite like everyone was excited and everything, and then we did the meditation and I could feel the energy field just went like so calm. And then people were just like, okay, I'm ready for bed. Hi, Grace. Welcome. So I'm thinking because in today's live, we're going to be talking about because yesterday we were really talking, it was more just like a free for all about manifestation. And still, I'm inviting questions about manifestation, anything you want to ask. But we're also going to be going into a little bit deeper into subconscious reprogramming through different manifestation techniques like shadow work. Yes, Dan, shadow work, and visualization and journaling. These are like the top three that I think of that I use all the time that have completely shifted me from being a very insecure, no self confidence, no self love, to being very confident and having a lot of self love, and in turn, completely shifting the kind of people that I attract into my life, the kind of opportunities that I attract into my life. It could not be more different, like day and night. When I was a kid, I was being bullied at school, I was being ostracized, I was experiencing like really difficult challenges within my friendship groups, and it couldn't be more different now. I feel like I'm so blessed and I thank God that I've been able to completely shift my inner world, and that's enabled me to completely shift my reality. So that's why I'm so passionate about talking about these things, because I really do see the results of the things that I do. Um, so have you guys tried shadow work? Do you like to journal? Let me know. People used to bully me too, Zaza. God, see? It's, yeah, being bullied is not fun. This live is going to be very beneficial to me. I'll be listening more than asking. Okay, Dan. But if you have any questions, then feel free. But of course, relax, enjoy. I write journals. Love that. I have many different journaling techniques. I've been journaling since I was like, I can't remember how old I was, 2011. Someone told me yesterday how old I was and I forgot. 2011. And over time, I feel like I have just realized how there's so many different ways that you can journal. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, different techniques that you can use for different times, for different purposes. And there's so many different tools for completely shifting your inner world. It gets really deep, and I feel like it's never ending. And it's also a creative process. You could probably come up, or you could definitely come up with your own ways of doing things. So I want to share with you some of the ways that I do. Being ignored was how I was bullied. Me too, Dan. Like, I've experienced that a lot when I was a kid. Um, and yeah, so at the time when like I was saying before, when I was younger, I had, I really didn't know how to stand up for myself. I didn't have any confidence in terms of setting boundaries with people. I didn't know how to communicate what I needed, and I didn't know how to really just, yeah, stand up for myself. And that has completely changed since I've learned how to communicate, and since I have just rewired myself to think highly of myself. And I think when I was younger, I did not think highly of myself. I thought that I needed to get validation from the external or be friends with certain people for my own self confidence. But now I realize that our value really does come from within, and no one else can make you more of a valuable person or set boundaries for you or stand up for yourself. But that's just in one section of my life that it has affected. I feel like just because I worked on myself in those areas, that has enabled me to become way more self-assured when it comes to like business and romantic relationships, friendships, all of that stuff. It's like really helped me to just communicate my boundaries, what I want, and know what I want in a healthy way that actually enriches my relationships. And I see my relationships strengthen when I do this. I also notice that when I do this, people have a lot more respect for you when you are able to communicate these things. And also, they like learn from it. Like, I think that's why they respect it. It was like, I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but today, like, I messaged someone, one of my clients, like a um just basically asking them if because this is a separate business, by the way, but I messaged one of my clients and was basically asking for a price. And she was just like, well, like, well done for asking, because a lot of people wouldn't even do it. They'd be a little bit too scared. Okay. Looking forward to the journal techniques. I might use a thing or two. Yeah, I also have some prompts that I'm going to give you guys. I love to create like reflective questions that are really good for lifting you up into your higher self, connecting with your higher self, and finding out what it is that that part of you wants to know right now. Let me just add a sticker for people coming in so that they know. Okay, there we go. It's there. Oh no, it cut off the Q&A. Okay, well, that's fine. Have to do for now. So before we start, I do kind of want to just all drop in. I think it's really good for us to get into a centered state before we start yapping. Before I start yapping. I mean, we're all yapping, I guess. Um, so I just want to invite you guys to take a deep breath into your belly and let it be the deepest breath that you've taken all day. Feel your whole body expand with your inhale, and then feel your whole body relax with your exhale. No, you just release when naturally and just do a couple rounds. Yes, I remember you. Veselina? Sorry if I said your name wrong. Is a journal whatever you want? I'm used to dream journaling only. So it can be, yeah, because there's so many ways to journal. And when I started in 2011, I wasn't following any rules. I picked up the journal and I just started doing it. And I just started writing. And I was inspired by, there was a girl at my school that had a really beautiful journal. And her journal was like, just the way she wrote, the writing looked so satisfying. And so I was like, I want to do that just for the satisfying nature of what it looks like. And then I ended up obviously finding it really useful. And so, yeah, I wasn't following any rules. I was just writing. And sometimes I would speak to my journal. And at this point, I wasn't spiritual. I didn't identify with any spirituality or anything. But I used to talk to my journal like it was God. Like I was almost praying to my journal because I was going through so much like shit at school with the girls at my school. I was like asking my journal, like, please help me, journal. I had like a relationship with my journal, like it was my friend. And I feel like that was the beginning of me having like a spiritual expression without even knowing it. So that's one way that you can use your journal, is literally to just talk, just to let out whatever it is that's on your mind. And as time went on and I matured, I started to use my journal in different ways. So one of the ways that I would use it, and I use it a lot now, is to, when I have a breakthrough, like for example, if I've been through a really challenging time, like a dark night of the soul, or a week of like just challenging moments, or even like a day, then I usually learn something from that. And so, but the way as well, it's like a whole process. So first of all, when I am going through the challenge, let's say I have really strong anxiety or a really painful emotion coming up, then I will you can use the journal in a way where you just like brain dump everything out, and you write down everything that you're feeling with no filter. And it can sound so negative, like you could literally be writing down like, I can't do this anymore, like life is just so difficult, like I absolutely hate like it could come out like that. And the whole point that you're doing that, just like no filter, allowing whatever to come out, is so that you can For one, gain awareness of what it is that is connected to this feeling. Gain awareness for what beliefs you are currently running that are connected to the feeling that you're having. And then also, then you can disidentify with those beliefs. You can question those beliefs. You can really like use your mind. And this is where we use the air element to really to our advantage, use the mind to our advantage, is to analyze and to question what it is that we are believing in that moment or that we are experiencing in our subconscious mind, and bringing it to the surface is really good for one, burning up the energy. Just writing it all down is a really good way for burning that up so that it can reduce anxiety, and also just for becoming more aware and uncovering like deep rooted beliefs that you can question and disidentify from. So the next way that I'll use my journal is to write down what I've learned. So let's say that I've just been through a really challenging time and I gained some really interesting insights from it through going inwards, doing those practices, listening to what thoughts are connected to my emotions. And after that period has taken its natural course, because the feelings, especially when we fully feel them, when we fully see what's going on in our internal world, they they move. And that's just the natural way that emotions are. It's literally energy in motion. And so what usually happens is I gain some insights into, I learned something about myself. I learned something about what was untrue in my system that I was believing, and then also what was the truth underneath that. And it can sound quite abstract, but it's something that you might remember next time you're going through it, and it will maybe land at some point. Sometimes these things don't like land in the moment, but if it might do in the future. So um yeah, that's one way I'll use it. Another way that I will use the journal is to speak from my higher self. This is one of my favorite ways to use my journal. I do this most of the time because I like to do what I can to keep myself in the most high vibrational state possible, where I am connected to my higher self. And so let's say you've just done a brain dump in your journal, and you do some shadow work, for example. Let's say that you, because, and I'll go into shadow work a bit in a bit if you guys don't know what shadow work is, but I'm guessing some of you do. And the thing is, when it comes to spiritual practice, there are there's shadow work and then there's light work. And so we want to be balancing both of these ways of doing spiritual work. And so when we are doing practices like shadow work, which is where we are focusing on the darker, more um, shadowy parts of ourselves, the purpose that we're doing this is to gain insights into like literally everything I just said, or to heal a certain part of us, or to go into the shadows to, it's like a gold mine, right? So you're basically descending down into the shadows in order to retrieve something and bring it up to the light, and this raises your vibration. So that there's that side of things, the shadow work, and then you've got the light work, and this is all of your positive focus work, which is affirmations, connecting with your higher self, um like doing your visualization. It's all to do with connecting with the light. And so both of these are important for you to get further into alignment and to raise your vibration, because if we get stuck just doing one, If we are just constantly doing shadow work, we're going to be feeling low because we're constantly focusing on the darkness. Or you can get stuck in this loop of looking for darkness. And I've been in this before, and I was like feeling so low because I was constantly trying to find um like negative patterns inside myself. And so as you can imagine, my mind is focused on looking for these negative patterns, and that can be quite painful. That can be quite um difficult to be in that state all the time. And so what I learned is that to balance that out when we're doing shadow work, we want to be also doing these light work practices as well. And so it's learning to, I think part of maturing spiritually is knowing what practice is needed in the moment. And that is part of you connecting with your intuition. Your intuition always knows, but that is part of strengthening your intuition, strengthening your relationship with your higher self. Every time we act in alignment with our higher self and our intuition, we strengthen that relationship. But every time we act out of alignment with our higher self and our intuition, we kind of weaken the relationship with our higher self and our intuition. And so we end up feeling like we don't trust ourselves as much. Does that make sense? Let me see if there's any comments I missed, guys. Okay. And also Zaza, I know how you said, I just like how she's always positive. Like I just want to say I do have my shadow moments, and this is just part of being human, you know? And I think sometimes we have difficult times in relationships. Like a lot of time relationships can be really triggering. And so when a part of our shadow comes up or it's triggered, it's something that I've had to learn to not beat myself up over and come back quicker. Third time in my stream. Yes, Zaza. I'm so happy that you come back. I just wanted to say it sounds very abstract without context. Yes, and if there's anything that I'm saying that just doesn't make sense to you guys and you want to clarify, please let me know, because I feel like from my perspective, like I can't really see. I don't know what is landing and what's not. So if anything is like, what is she talking about? Just let me know and I can clarify. Do you know about base therapy? No. What is that? Journaling seems to be a good way to slow down and uncover all that you are. Yes. Everyone has a dark side. Yes. Everyone has a dark side, but good people also have a light side. Everyone has a dark side, but it's when you are, it's the dark part of us that we suppress that end up getting acted out in harmful ways. So that's why doing shadow work is important. I'll try to give you an example. Let's say in your shadow, okay, let's say when you were a kid, there was a part of you that loved to perform and loved to be the center of attention. Now, let's say that this child that loved to be the center of attention grew up in a family of people that didn't like that. And every time the child would be like this performer theatrical kid, the parents would tell them off or tell them this isn't okay. So they're basically withdrawing their love from the child. So that child has learnt to hide that part of themselves and be ashamed of that part of themselves. And so they pushed it down into their shadow. And that's an aspect of them that is very natural to them. And it's actually part of their purpose to be like that. But because they grew up in a family where it wasn't accepted, they decided to push it down. And they also attached shame to that. So anytime that kid, as when it grows up, anytime that it's in a situation where that part of it is triggered, it's going to suppress that. Or let's say, for example, that person grew up and because they had suppressed this part of them, they decided that they were going to choose a career that was nothing to do with performance or theatrics, even though that was like part of something that is their soul would just really enjoy doing. So they decided to choose a career that was like maybe, being an accountant, right? As they are trying to become an accountant, there will be this part of us, that part of them that is deep in the shadows, that is in resistance to becoming an accountant. And so it might be that they really don't enjoy it, or it's almost like they are moving forwards with the brakes on, and it's not manifesting as well for them because they're not in full alignment with it. There's a part of them that is basically contradicting that path that they have decided to go down. So as they are continuing with trying to become an accountant, there's this little part of them that is like their intuition part of them that is saying, I don't want to do this. This is not my path. And every time that comes up, that causes them a lot of pain because it's also connected to, if they were to really look into it, the shame of who they truly are. And that shame is really difficult to look at because shame can be so painful. If we have taken on a belief that this part of me is unwanted and it's not good, then that's going to be something that is really hard to look at because it could be connected to, let's say that was connected to a belief that if I share this part of me, then I will be alone. And so that is a fear that they are running in their subconscious, deep in their subconscious. They are running this belief that they will be alone if they do not, if they actually listen to their intuition. And so if that person then really decided to, okay, I'm going to listen to what is this resistance to me being an accountant, and they went inwards and they felt the feeling that they're having, maybe it's like really bad anxiety or something like that, then they will ask themselves the question, what is it that this anxiety is telling me? And then they might get the answer, I don't want to do this. And then they ask themselves, why? What is it that I want to do? And then the answer comes up, I want to be a performer. And that answer is like, I don't want to hear that. I want to avoid that. That's what I've been doing my whole life. I've been avoiding that truth. And so as they allow themselves to really feel into that and ask themselves the question, okay, and they may say they get to the point where they're like, okay, I've realized that I have this belief that if I go ahead and be a performer, then I'll be alone. And then they question that, is that 100% true that that's the case? And then they realize no, then they are able to release that belief. And then what's happened is they've brought that part of themselves that is in the shadows to the light. So now they accept that there is a part of me that loves to perform. And I was carrying this belief that that part of me was not worthy, that part of me is not lovable. And now I can choose a new belief. And I can look for evidence in the world that actually being a performer is a lovable thing to some people. And so I don't have to hold on to that shame anymore. I don't have to hold on to that belief that that part of me is not okay. That part of me is not allowed in the world. And so that's going to raise their vibration because now there's a real part of them that has just been allowed to come up to the light. And it's so liberating And so freeing when there's a part of you that you have suppressed that is now allowed to express. And that's how we get into alignment and we really get into our purpose by allowing all these parts of us to express how they want to. Never work only for the money, work also because you like what you do. That is like 100% my life motto as well. It's so important. I feel like what we like to do is part of our mission on earth. The universe wouldn't want you to do something that you don't enjoy. 90% of people earn for others and not actually for themselves. I love your jumper. Did you make it, Amy? No, I got it in the charity shop. Did everything I say make sense? And does anyone have any questions? Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay, thank you guys. Good. I'm glad. Any questions? Anything that came to the surface for you guys that you want to unpack a little bit or go into deeper? I also had the idea today to hold a manifestation ceremony, and I want to see what you guys thought about it. If you would like to join, it will be basically a ceremony where I take you through a visualization meditation where we will connect with our higher selves, and we'll also do some journaling and have little discussions. Like, it'll be more, it will also be on Zoom, so we'll be able to chat. Okay, let me answer the question. Yes, it will make sense. I'm listening, Amy, but preparing dinner at the same time. Okay, cool. Talk about vibrations. What do you want to know about vibrations? For your inner frequencies, how vibration helps your subconscious mind. Hey, Kat. Yeah, we're still talking about it. I mean, we will be talking about journaling probably, but I think we're going into vibration now and frequencies. So, how vibration helps your subconscious mind. So, everything in this universe is energy, and everything. Hi, Tanmoy. Welcome. Everything in. Let me start again. Everything in the vibration is energy, and everything vibrates at a different frequency. Even thoughts vibrate at a different frequency. So we can have low vibrational thoughts and we can have high vibrational thoughts. The highest vibrational thoughts are gratitude and love. They're rooted in gratitude and love. The lowest vibrational thoughts are rooted in fear. And it's that simple. And you're either thinking a thought that is rooted in love, or rooted in fear. And so, how that affects our subconscious mind is that our subconscious is, it contains many, many, many different beliefs. And beliefs are like thoughts that we have adopted as truth. And these beliefs can be high vibrational, rooted in love, or they could be low vibrational, rooted in fear. The more high vibrational beliefs that we have in our subconscious, the more high vibrational we're going to be, the more we're going to feel gratitude, and the more we're going to be an emanation of love. Like Jesus, for example, he was, I'm guessing, a human that was very much like pure love. His subconscious, I think he was just so um like he had realized his divine nature, or he had come in with the intention to know his nature as divine, and so he was just pure love. Whereas most of us have probably got a mix of both low vibrational beliefs and high vibrational beliefs. And so when we are doing shadow work, we are uncovering those beliefs that are rooted in fear, that are low vibrational, and then we are turning them into high vibrational beliefs. And that's how we raise our vibration as a human. And when we raise our vibration, we start to attract things that match our vibration, because we are like radio signals. We attract things that reflect our beliefs about ourselves and about the world. One 100%. I find doing this sort of work on ourselves in a group can be very helpful. Me too, Dan. I really do. I also find that when someone shares something about themselves, or something, a breakthrough they've had, or a question that they've got, it really helps other people in the group to unlock things that they didn't know were there. Because we all are so connected. We're all living on Earth at the exact same time, in the exact same moment. So there's a lot of connections in our collective consciousness. And then you've got like the cosmos affecting us as well. Okay, I'm sorry, Zaza. I didn't see your comment. I've just scrolling up. I don't get most things she says. It goes over my head sometimes, but I just like watching her. She's an amazing person with a heart of gold. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's go back down. Okay. Amy, I just want to say thank you. You're so beautiful, and thank you for the advice. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you. How do low vibrational thoughts overpower high vibrational thoughts? What specific energies? So, consciously, you can only be right. Let me hang on. So, when we're fully conscious, we can only be focusing on one thing at a time. Like yes, we have our subconscious, but when we're unconscious, we have all these things happening in our subconscious. But when we are conscious, we can only like our consciousness can only be focused on one thing at a time. So often our subconscious is focused on the negative. This is just the nature of the human mind. I was doing a meditation teacher training course the other day, and they were talking about how it's actually been proven in science that our brain is wired to look for the negative. And so that's what our subconscious is doing. So most of the time. So when we start to focus on the positive, because we can only focus on one thing at a time, it's going to shift your frequency. Did that answer your question? Could we, regular human beings, have 100% love? If you are fully conscious, then you are 100% love. You are tapped into infinite love. But because the nature of our mind, it's very easy for us to get dragged out of that. And Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. It's like this accumulation of painful beliefs and emotions that we store in our subconscious, that when we become unconscious, we are now focused on, or like unconsciously playing out these patterns. So if you can be present, then in that moment you're connected to infinite love. It's just that it's so easily for us to get dragged into fear, basically. So being 100% love, yes, but then being 100% love all the time is rare. And that's something like Buddha or Jesus. That's like the divine ideal, you know? If we could do that, that would be amazing. We would literally have harmony on earth. And there may be some humans that are like that. Maybe like someone like Eckhart Tolle is like that, but I don't know. He probably does struggle with certain things as well. Can you help me with how to manifest to grow taller? My goal is to grow. So you would need to believe that it's possible to grow taller, and you would need to visualize yourself as taller. And if you can actually get to the point where you do believe that you are taller, then that could manifest for you. Zaza, guys, like the stream by double tapping in the middle of the screen. Ah, thank you for the support. Where is everyone from? I'm from England. I'm subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. It's great to have you. There is no possible way for a human to achieve 100% love or to generate 100% love. I mean, I think it's possible, but maybe I'm an optimist. I think that would be the goal. But maybe not, because it's true. It's like that is pure God. Like I think God is love. And so when we come into human form, it's like we come into this realm that is a lot denser and has separation and all things like that. So sorry, my questions are difficult to answer and it takes long to answer. That's okay. I mean, I might be wrong about these answers. I'm literally just saying what comes to me in the moment. And I feel like these things can be discussed like at length. And sometimes I find a new perspective and it can be a bit of both. Some of these, a lot of spiritual um, questions have paradoxes. And so that's why I think with the whole can we be 100% love? It's like I do think so because I think like Jiz, Jesus and Buddha did uh, like come in with that and they did achieve that. But yeah. Also, it's like the other hand, like I was saying, we come in with these filters, most of us. Don't be afraid to ask me difficult questions. I like difficult questions. And I'll say if I don't have an answer. Amy, for example, if I meet a girl and I love her and she loves me, can we do things to make sure our love doesn't get stale? Yes. If you look into Till Swan, she talks about this a lot. And she has a whole course on literally the question that you're asking is, and one of the things that she mentions a lot is women need to feel safe, not just physically, but emotionally. So if you can make a woman feel safe, she'll never leave you, basically, because that is what makes us attracted to a man, is when we just feel safe. Obviously, there's other things that make you attracted to someone, compatibility and lots of other factors. But if you already realize that you're compatible and you want to be together, then making sure that she feels safe emotionally by really trying to understand her, listening to her, and um, yeah, trying to understand her in a way that is like you're literally so curious about this person and how they uh, feel safest in the world, then yes. You need to activate all of the five chakras to achieve and to keep or be in 100% love every time. It's called divine energy. I agree. You're saying absolutely correct. I have little knowledge and I have heard exact same words from many gurus. You know, I manifested that England lost in the World Cup. It's real now. Are you from England? I'm a doctor from India. I'm a neurologist. Well, welcome. I know how the human think about their thinking, just they want to peace to handle their thinkings. You know, Eckhart Tolle, he says that underlying all of our conditioning is just the peace. And it's like, I think it's Jesus said in the Bible something like the peace that um, passeth all understanding. And Eckhart Tolle was like, I feel like he he experienced something that Jesus experienced because he just basically awakened to the nature of who we are, which is just inner peace. And we can access that at any time we want. It's just in the present moment. That peace resides in the present moment. I read Bible and the Bhagavad Gita and Quran. It's cool. Walking in a path of peace is like walking barefoot for miles. A handle can do it. Mahatma Gandhi was one such. Sadhguru is one such. Amy, I've never had a girlfriend. I guess I'm cooked. Why does that mean that you're cooked? We have no go exist. Have you watched the movie Largo? No. Has anyone got any questions about everything we've been talking about? Well, why do you think that you're going to be cooked? What does it mean to you to be cooked? Why do all the genius people smoke or are into some kind of addiction? Smoked? Do you mean smoke cannabis? So, Red Devil news. You said I'm out of shape. I'm not the most attractive person height wise. Okay. So, first of all, this is the perception that you have of yourself. I don't know what you look like, so I can't really say, but what I would say is that it could be something that you could do to explore ways to shift your perspective of yourself. And if you believe that you you have a belief that you have to be a certain height to find a girlfriend, that belief is going to be reflected in your reality. So, looking for evidence, like how tall are you? I don't know how tall you are. Looking for evidence that people of your height have found love or are in loving relationships might help you to shift that belief. Like literally look everywhere. 5'9". That's not even short. I thought you were gonna say something like, I don't know, 4 foot. 5'9's like kind of average, no? So at the moment you have this belief that you need to be taller than 5'9" to find a girl. Look for evidence of men that have got girlfriends at 5'9". That might help you. And if you feel like you're out of shape, is there any way that you can improve that? So that you can start to shift your perspective of yourself? Smoking or tobacco products? I mean, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to smoking cannabis, it can be a really good way to it can be used as a medicine, and some people do use it in a healthy way. You can have a healthy relationship to these things, but a lot of people don't have a healthy relationship with it, and that's when it becomes a dependency or an addiction. but it can be used to actually do shadow work or connect with our creativity. And many has bad habit of not sleeping at night. Why do all of the creative minds and genius minds do not sleep at night and has some kind of addiction? I don't think that's actually true because maybe there are some, but like I have a very creative mind and I sleep very well. And I know other people that are successful that also think that sleep is really important. Like Till Swan, for example, she talks about how sleep is really important and she takes her sleep very seriously. And I would say that she is a genius and very creative person. So maybe some, but not all of them. Do you know Ben Stroke and Joe Root? No. Who's that? That's why I want to manifest my goals, losing the weight and growing a few inches because I feel like I'll be much more confident. Yeah, and like it, it's probably a good idea to start with something that is, you know, whatever you find would be more achievable for you right now. Is there anything that is because one of the reasons why we might find it difficult to lose weight is because we're focusing on losing weight. I mean, sorry, we're focusing on um like the idea of our bodies not being good enough. Whereas if you focus on the end goal of yourself, like how you would feel when you have lost that weight, and just take one step every day to work towards that, then I lost my train of thought. Sorry. But yes, if your intuition is saying that you want to lose weight, then that's something that I would say definitely go after. Is there something that has been stopping you or that has been you've been finding difficult with it? Let me ask you a question. There is women and men born in earth first form from when they were all born due to them, then we are all family, right? Then why Christian, Hindu, Muslim were created? I don't know. Sorry. Are you talking about those men and women born first, as in like in what way? Because I don't know if you mean that in a religious way or from evolution. Okay, you didn't understand my question, Amy. I never said creative minds don't sleep. They do, in fact. I had seen many who takes up to 12 hours sleep. My question was, why do they wake up and work late at night? Oh, okay, yeah, that's makes more sense. Okay, why do they? Because I'm like that. I like to be up late and I like to. Sometimes I try to go to bed early, but sometimes I also like to be up late and do creative things. I feel like it could be for so many different reasons. The nighttime is a great time to create because everyone's asleep, there's no distractions, and it's like a time that you can just lock in. That's what I love, the nighttime. Okay. I'm gonna like point you in the direction, by the way, Red Devil, into a video by Till Swan because I feel like she will explain this better than I could. And she has a video literally called How to Lose Weight. And so she'll be, if you watch that, then she'll probably be able to help you to uncover whatever it is that is in resistance, that is keeping you in resistance. I mean, I'll tell you what I think now, but I would definitely encourage you to check out her video. Um, Nothing's coming to me right now, so yeah, check her video. Maybe that will help. And I'm sorry that I can't give you a better answer, but if I think of one, then I will let you know. It's not something that I've personally dealt with. I think that's why I struggle to answer that question because I've always been really slim. And so if someone, asked me the opposite question, then I'd probably be able to help a little bit better. But I've never had to deal with losing weight. So it's actually the opposite. I've always found it really difficult to put on weight. Um, so it's not something that I have like researched or really tried to change about myself. Without women and men, how were we created? There's many theories. There's like the theory that there's like extraterrestrials that came down and mated with some species before us and created us. See, this is the theory of just evolution. Both are evolution, I guess. Thank you for the help, though, Amy. You're welcome. Does subliminal sound affect regarding specific topic work or not? Subliminal sounds. I'm not sure. Sublim. Let me get a definition for it, and then it might give me some clarity. Hidden positive affirmations or messages masked by music or nature sound played below the threshold of conscious awareness. Yeah. These audio tracks deliver messages to the subconscious bypassing the critical conscious mind. They often use techniques like the rumor method. I heard a rumor that my name is ... or direct repetitive positions, affirmations in the present tense. Yeah. So I would say this does work, especially if you're like going to sleep or you're in that, I think it's like a theta state where you are between waking and sleep. It's when our subconscious is able to be impressed upon. It's like a deeply relaxed brainwave pattern. And so when we're in that state, we are able to be influenced in the subconscious. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot, and Neville Goddard talks about this. It's like before we fall asleep, to listen to affirmations or to listen to visualize what we want to create, and that's the best way to affect our subconscious mind. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have a quick break and I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'm gonna end this live and I'm gonna restart it in a second. Okay, so just watch out for for the live, but I'll be back in like literally 1 minute, 2 minutes.